You're listening to Conversation Kingz with Dominic Emerson, only on LA Talk Radio.
Good morning. Good morning. This is the Conversation Kingz. Welcome to the Conversation Kingz. I'm your host, Dominic Emerson, here on LA Talk Radio. And today I want to talk about self-mastery. First, I want to give a shout out to the Old Man Gang Apparel for the Old Man Gang clothing and merchandise, which you can go pick that up at oldmangangapparel.com. I want to talk about self-mastery and mastering ourselves. Sometimes we have to understand that in self-mastery, it's all about our emotions and understanding how our emotions play and having the peace within ourselves, right? And it's certain to a point of like almost meditation, right? Because sometimes we have to find that spot in life where we have that meditation, that peace, that reset of our mindset. And meditation is one of the biggest things, right? You hear a lot of gurus talk about meditation or just getting around different sounds that and vibrations that help you align yourself with the peace, right? So one of the most common habits that are among highly successful people is engaging in meditation or some spiritual practice, right? And meditation is dismissed by many success-minded people as a waste of time, but that's a mistake, right? And I'm here to just tell you that meditation can help you if you're looking to grow and go into self-mastery, because meditation gives us a better understanding of ourselves and more control over our behavior, because that's what self-mastery is all about, right? It's about mastering our behavior and our emotions and how we deal with other people or deal with our lives in general. We have to become the masters of ourselves, right? So I'm going to give you several key points, key tips that'll help you understand self-mastery for your life, right? Emotional health. Emotional health is very important for self-mastery when you're dealing with your image and outlook on life to improve, right? Your emotional health is very important because you don't want to be unstable emotionally where your emotions ride up and down. And then if you have understanding of your emotional health, then you'll understand how to deal with self-mastery and a master of yourself, right? Meditation has also been found to decrease symptoms of depression. And like always, I often talk about mental health, depression, anxiety, and those type of things. So meditation is definitely important if you have some sort of anxiety, depression, and those thoughts in your mindset. You want to definitely get into some meditation for emotional health, right? Because it'll help you emotionally calm down on certain things in your life, right? Meditation is a great thing. It helps with the incidence of positive thoughts, which that'll also increase in your life if you start to go into working on your emotional health for your self-mastery, right? Your emotional thoughts, your emotional health, your emotional intelligence, along with the path and the course of your self-mastery, right? And it also, what meditation does, it enhances your attention span, right? It enhances your attention span. The intensity and duration of your concentration is increased, right? That's increased also when you're dealing with meditation. If you're on this road or on this walk to figure out self-mastery of your life, right? You want to increase your attention span. You want to have a focus. That's basically what meditation is going to help you do. It's going to help you focus on certain things that you need to focus on, right? You'll be able to stay on task longer and get more accomplished. And that's what the whole idea of life is all about, getting certain things accomplished. And when you're dealing with self-mastery in the course of the journey of life and trying to figure out yourself, understand yourself, learn yourself a whole lot better, these things definitely will help. And you'll have a focus and be able to stay on task while you're dealing with learning how to master yourself, right? And meditation helps your brain in years later, right? Meditation helps your brain because now you're understanding your emotional health, your attention span is better, your focus is better, you're staying on task of what you need to do. You know, me, myself, for some of the things that I do for meditation, you know, I play different little mind games, right? On apps. And it helps me with my attention span and my focus. So that way I understand that I have certain things locked in, and I'll be able to focus on whatever task I'm dealing with, right? And that's how we do it, because when you're dealing with your self-mastery and your emotions and your attention span and meditation, that's helping your brain, right? It helps with memory, mental quickness, attention are enhanced, right? And that's what you want, because a lot of people nowadays, Alzheimer's is something that's prevalent with dementia, right? So we want to try to decrease those diagnoses, right, of Alzheimer's and dementia. And also, meditation helps lower stress and reduce anxiety. Like I said, I always talk about anxiety and depression and mental health. But with meditation, it'll help you lower stress and reduce your anxiety, right? Because you want to reduce all of those things that are going on around you, the vibes that are around you, right? The energy per se that's around you. You want to decrease all of these things, right? So meditation has been shown to reduce the symptoms of social anxiety, right? Sometimes we hear people say that I'm an introvert, right? Meaning that basically they'd rather not deal with society. Maybe it's because their anxiety goes up when they're around a lot of people, right? So you want to deal with meditation and self-mastery because it helps lower stress and reduce that anxiety in social events or social outings and things like that, right? It helps lower the phobias, the panic attacks, the obsessive compulsive disorders, right? It also reduces the general level of anxiety you experience each day. Meditation will help you reduce all of these things without the day. And this is on the course of understanding and being better at self-mastery, right? Because if I want to master myself and I want to understand myself, I have to figure out what's the best role for me, right? What's the best journey that I can take in order to master myself and better myself, right? And it also gives you a self-awareness, right? It gives you a self-awareness, because that's what self-mastery is all about. Being aware of yourself, understanding the reality of yourself, your true self, who you are, what you desire, what you require, what is your purpose in life, what is your passion in life, what direction in life are you going, right? And that's self-mastery. And this is what meditation helps with in our lives during this journey, right? So it brings you self-awareness also. You learn much more about yourself, your thoughts, when you meditate regularly, right? The importance of this can't be overemphasized, right? You have to understand self-awareness, because if I'm to master myself, I have to be aware of what's my triggers. I say this often, right? You have to know your triggers. You have to know the points that push you to the limit, right? So with meditation, this will definitely help in all these forms, right? You want to get this down, right? And that self-awareness, it in meditation, you want to pay attention to your breathing, right? Because sometimes in our meditation, we learn how to breathe and release and relax and let go, right? So if I'm doing my meditation or doing my mental focus and I'm having a panic attack, or my anxiety is high, or I'm feeling some form of depression, right? I have to learn how to pace my breathing, right? How to inhale, exhale, let it go. Let it go. Whatever it is that is not allowing you to be the best that you can be, not allowing you to perform at your highest level, then you have to release and let it go, right? You have to release and let it go. And breathing is a form of just inhaling it and releasing it and letting it go, right? The key is not to engage with people who raise your anxiety levels, right? That's the key. You have to know your triggers. You have to know your keys. You have to know what sets you off in that aspect, right? Because I'm trying to learn how to master myself. So what is going to set me off and going to push me to that point that's going to get me to that limit where I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm off my rocker, right? I'm off tilt. I'm not level, right? So what is it that's taking me there? See, and that's what meditation helps us to do, right? We learn our points that are pushing us to that limit, right? And meditation is a great way, right? And also, if you just go out Sometimes I go and I just take a walk. I just take a walk, right? It just relieves a lot. There's nobody around me. There's nobody to disturb me. There's no interruptions as I'm taking this walk by myself, right? I get to take in everything. I get to think clearly. And that's what walking can do as part of a form of meditation, right? A walking meditation. And it helps you 100% to refocus and regroup, right? Because you can think now. You can have progress in what you're thinking about, right? You know how to go about it, the plan, and which way you want to go, right? So Dale Carnegie says this: feeling sorry for yourself and your present condition is not only a waste of energy, but the worst habit you could possibly have. See, in self-mastery, you have to pick up habits, right? And meditation is one of those forms of habit, right? You have to pick up habits as you become self-aware for your self-mastery, right? You have to pick up these habits. Just keep going, keep pushing, and going through the process. There's going to be a process in order to learn how to master yourself. Just endure the process, because the prize of that process is going to be a whole lot greater once you have that understanding, right? And meditation, making that a habit, a daily habit, a conscious habit, will help you as you continue to go forward, right? And you have to create things, create cues that are going to help you with those habits, right? Like any habit, your meditation habit will require more cues, right? When should I meditate, right? When should I regain or regroup with my focusing, my thoughts, right? My thought pattern. How should I contain these things, right? So you have to pick a time and a place for your meditation, right? Pick a time and a place. Like for people who have children, after you put your kids to bed, that's a nice time, because now it's quiet time, right? Now it should be peaceful because there shouldn't be any noise inside your home, right? Turn off the TV. Turn off the TV after you put the kids to bed, and find that quality time of quiet time for yourself, right? When you're getting in the shower, or when you're taking a bath, you find that peace. Just relax and meditate under the water. Let the water, block out all the noise, right? Take those moments in life for self-mastery during meditation in order to regroup and rethink, right? Sometimes when you're driving in the car, turn the radio off. Especially if you're by yourself, turn the radio off, so you can think, block out all the noise of the traffic. It'll help you. It'll definitely help you along your road to self-mastery, right? And sometimes even when you're eating lunch, it's okay to eat lunch by yourself when you're at work or something like that. So you can think and you can focus, you can understand what you're trying to do and the direction you're trying to go in. Sometimes, it's okay to eat alone, to be alone, right? And you have to start small. You have to start small and, as they say, take baby steps in order to create these habits. You have to start small, right? You might want to do a little studying or on meditation, or take a course. You have to start small. Take these small steps. What form of meditation am I looking to go into for my self-mastery, right? To be a better me, to enhance my life, right? So you want to start looking it up, the forms of meditation. How do I meditate? How do I find that peace and that quiet, right? Or is there a course that I can take in order for me to understand how meditation helps me with my anxiety, helps me with my depression, helps me with some forms of mental disorder that I have, right? You want to look into that. But there's descriptions in there that you want to look at, and the descriptions is enough to become a very good meditation point, right? Because sometimes the descriptions have a lot of meat in them. They have a lot of meat in them of what you're getting ready to get into. So you definitely want to get into that, right? And you want to start small in your meditation. Even if you start out for a minute, 60 seconds is long if you really understand it, right? If you're meditating, if you're making this part of your daily routine, your daily habit, the daily interchange that you want for the inside to reflect on the outside. Take a minute and just close your eyes and just close your mind and just close your ears and just think with the peace and thoughts that'll help you to continue to move forward in life, right? Increase your duration time over for meditation. You want to increase that over a period of time, right? Eventually you'll want to have a single session for your meditation that lasts 20 minutes, 30 minutes, right? Of peace, of quiet, of drowned out sounds, because sometimes it's the noise that bothers us throughout the day that knocks us off our square when we're trying to understand self-mastery. Sometimes it's that noise that can hinder us from finding the peace of our mind, the peace that helps us move forward, right? And we want this peace that passes all understanding, right? And if we're not able to find that quiet spot, that quiet area, so my mind can open up and I can think clearly, we have to find that, right? And give yourself, like I say, you start off small, then you increase it. Maybe 1 minute, then 5 minutes, then 20 minutes, then 30 minutes. Then before you know it, you'll be up to meditating for an hour, right? And there's ways that you can reward yourself, right? You might find that meditation itself is enough reward, but consider doing more for yourself at first, right? You might want to redirect or reflect on how awesome it is that you have successfully begin meditation, right? So therefore you want those things to be better in your life, right? When you feel yourself triggered to perform a negative behavior, meditate instead, right? Meditate instead. Gretchen Rubin says this, right? We can use decision making to choose the habits we want to form, use willpower to get the habit started. Then, and this is the best part, we can allow the extraordinary power of habit to take over. At that point, we're free from the need to decide and the need to use willpower. You don't want to always use willpower, right? You want to just use your inner power to overcome whatever situation. And that is a true understanding of meditation, right? And like one form of self-mastery that I always talk about that comes along with this meditation, enhancing ourselves, is reading and learning, right? Reading and learning. Sometimes if you sit somewhere quietly and you're reading a book, you're actually opening up your mind to expand your mind. And a lot of things are blocked out, right? You have that quiet zone, right? Sitting in the corner quietly reading your book, right? If you want to become successful, because that's what self-mastery is about, becoming successful within myself, I have to understand these things, right? If you want to become successful, it's important to learn and continue learning, right? That's one of my major pitches, right? Reading and learning. Because I always say knowledge is the new money. Understanding is the new money. Having a concept of all these things is the new money, right? Because the more I pour into my bank on my life, the more reward I will receive, right? Because the reward is for me. It's not for anybody else. That's the reward in this life, right? So I have to pour more and more into myself for self-mastery, right? And reading and learning is one of those things where you want to continue to pour into your life, right? If you want more, right? Reading is an excellent way to accomplish. 30 to 60 minutes of reading each day is enough, right? It's enough because you want to pour in increments into your mind, into your newness, right? Into going towards the success avenue that you're going in. You want to pour in increments, right? Reading allows you to increase your knowledge of the world and any subject that's important to you, right? That's the road of self-mastery. What road is important to you in this life, right? What direction is important to you in this life? What way do you want to go? What way do you see your life going? See, and when you're meditating, you're reading and you're learning and you're understanding, who am I in this life, right? What have I been purposed to do? You have to read and learn and increase your knowledge in order for you to grow as a person, as an individual. And that is one of the realistic parts of self-mastery, right? I have to know me, and I have to be real with myself, right? I have to be real with myself and my desires and what I want to do and how I want to do it in order to be successful, right? Think about what you could do better or how your mind would expand if only you had more knowledge. You want to expand your mind, increase your mind. We have the greatest computer on this rock. We have the greatest computer. They can build more modems, more RAMs, more, but it takes the mindset, the increased mindset, our mindset in order to build those things, right? But the person who increases the computer itself, the RAMs, the modems, he or she has to increase their knowledge base. So if I want to be the master at developing new computers, like Apple comes out with a new phone every year, right? They only tweak certain things, but it takes an individual who has studied and learned and read and increased their knowledge, that mastered that increases the Apple iPhones, right? So you want to be knowledgeable. You want to have that in your bank, right? You want to have that in your bank account, right? And you have to determine what you want to know. That's all about knowledge, right? You have to determine, what is it that I want to know? What is it that I want to understand? What is it that is going to help increase me in moving forward in this life, right? The information is out there. The information is out there. If you want to be successful and you want to be the master of your life and understand self-mastery, and a part of it is meditation and reading and learning, the information is out there. And if you want to go down that course, right? If you want to go down that road, right? It's definitely out there for you to understand and you to pick up and you to take and digest it and put it in your mind. And over, this becomes a habit, right? Reading and learning and meditating and self-mastery, these things become habit to you, right? You want to form a habit. They say statistically that it takes 28 to 30 days of constantly doing a certain habit for it to become just a natural part of your life, right? So you want to do these things and you want to set your goals, right? Set these goals out for 30 days and see if it increases or it changes anything in your life for self-mastery, right? Because like I say, the knowledge is out there, it's ready and waiting for you. Oftentimes I tell people that we have phones, right? We have the speed of light of information and knowledge in our hands. But are we taking advantage of those things that will increase us in our success, right? In our self-mastery, in our meditation, in our reading and our learning, right? I read books. Sometimes I read the paperbacks, the hardbacks, or I just read the information off my phone, right? But I decipher or decode certain information on my phone because everything on the phone may not be as informative as I need it to be, right? So you want to determine what you want to know, right? What information will help your success the most, right? What information will help your success the most in self-mastery, right? Am I reading self-help books? Am I reading books that are going to increase me in my financial needs? Am I reading or gathering information that is going to help me be the best in whatever area I'm trying to build in this life, right? Make a list of everything you wish to know, right? Make a list. Like, you have to have goals. You have to have a plan. You have to have something set out, right? In order for you to get from point A to point B, you have to have it written down. Make it plain and simple. Write it on the wall. Write it on your whiteboard, or if you have one, right? Write it on a piece of paper and use some tape and stick it up. But make these things part of your habit, of your daily life, and you'll see the increases. You'll see the changes within yourself. You'll see these changes start to come, right? Keep your goals in mind while compiling this list, right? Keep your goals in line. After I finish this, what's my goal? What am I trying to learn from this? What is the lesson in this for me changing this habit from here, from point A to point B, right? What am I trying to get from that, right? like I said, you want to start small. You want to start small. You want to make it easy, and you want to reward yourself, right? You want to start small, make it easy, and reward yourself. Don't make it too difficult where it's too difficult of a task that you can't achieve, right? You want to make it something that you can achieve. Not super easy, but make it as easy as possible so where you can figure it out for self-mastery along this road, right? You want to reward yourself. You definitely want to reward yourself, right? You want to validate yourself for the victories that you conquered and overcame with those obstacles, right? You want to reward yourself, and it's okay to reward yourself. Hopefully, the knowledge you gained or the thrill of the changing of your behavior will be enough. Hopefully, those inner changes will be enough, right? The inner growth will be enough, right? The inner knowledge will be enough, right? Those are the rewards that you want to have put on a pedestal for yourself to say, hey, I accomplished this. I've done what I've set out to do. And I validate myself. I pat myself on the back. I clap for myself because I did it. You know, I did what I set out to do. I created these habits. I created these positive habits, right? And you'll move forward. The best gift you can give yourself is the habit of reading something helpful each day. Reading something helpful each day, right? Like oftentimes I see quotes and posts and things like that on social media. And I try to make it a habit of posting something in the positive area, right? The positive resetting of our mind in a certain area, right? Words of affirmation, words that are going to help us to be better as a people individually and collectively, right? So you definitely want to give yourself these habits of something helpful each day in your life, right? And it'll make a difference, right? It'll make a difference. So there's no limit what you can learn or become if you read regularly, right? Most successful people read books on a regular. They read on a regular because this helps increase who they are and what they're about, right? And even if they're in a certain arena, a certain area of life, they read a lot of books towards that specific job or task, right? Or whatever they're in. They're reading on that. Like a lawyer reads many of the law books. A doctor reads books on how to help patients, right? A mechanic reads books on how to repair, right? And he's constantly reading. But you have to constantly be learning these things in that certain area of your life that you're going in, that you set out to go in order for you to be the master of yourself as an individual in doing what you set out to do, right? So that's going to help determine how far you go, how far you grow, how far you can come from A to B in this life, right? It determine what you need to know and allow your reading habit to make it happen, right? So if I'm a mechanic, if I'm an engineer, I'm going to read things on how to build, how the wiring concept goes. What is it, the new information that's coming out on the new equipment that I'm working on, right? Because I have to be informed so that way I can be of knowledge. So that way when the job comes to me, if it comes something new, I know what I'm going into, right? I have the information, I have the knowledge to be successful in what I'm getting ready to do. And that is what we should be doing as people, right? As individuals in order to be learning self-mastery, right? And that's what I'm talking about today, self-mastery, right? This is the Conversation Kings. I'm your host, Dominic Emerson, here on LA Talk Radio. And like always, like, follow, subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram, right? And these are the conversations that you're going to find, something that's going to help improve you, something that's going to help enhance you. And today I'm talking about self-mastery, right? And like always, it's never personal, it's always business. See, I have to be in the business of mastering myself, right? And this is the information, this is the knowledge that will help me to continue to grow and be successful in whatever area I decide to go in this life, right? So we have to take all of this in, right? We have to understand that I have to in order for me to master myself, I have to have some form of meditation, right? Some form of quiet time, some form of regrouping my mind, some form of regrouping my thoughts, some form of changing my habits, right? So that way, when anxiety presents itself, depression presents itself, some form of mental blockage presents itself, I know how to deal with it and be successful and get over it because I have goals, I have a plan, and I'm set out to change these habits in order to continue to move forward as an individual, right? And see, life will bring us millions of lessons in life, right? And some we're going to get right and some we're going to get wrong. But along this road of self-mastery and meditation and getting over certain things that I want to get over and changing certain things I want to change, I have to learn from my mistakes, right? I have to learn from what did not work, what failed in life, what did I get out of it, what did I pull out of that situation, right? And that's all about self-mastery, right? So you have to learn from your mistakes in this life. And it's okay to make mistakes. Let me say that again. It's okay to make mistakes, right? Nothing is going to ever be perfect, right? We are an imperfect people trying to find out how to be as close to perfect as we can because we'll never be perfect. There's nobody walking this earth of today that'll be perfect, right? Sometimes I hear people saying, I want the perfect mate. I want the perfect relationship. I want the perfect job. There's nothing that's going to be perfect, right? So you have to learn from those mistakes and take those mistakes as building blocks, as the lessons that are learned during this road or this journey of life. It's just that simple. It's not complicated. This life is not complicated. It's what we make it to be. So I make it to be, for me as an individual, as wide open as can be, right? What am I going to learn from my mistakes? What can I change? What habits, what new habits am I going to put into my life, right? What old habits am I going to just leave away, right? Just get rid of. What changes am I trying to make for my mindset, right? What is my focus in life? And as we get a little bit older and wiser in life, we have to start making these changes in life in order to be better equipped for this life, right? So we have to learn from our mistakes, right? Mistakes and failures are regular occurrences in the lives of anyone that's working on big goals. You're not going to hit that mark every time. You're not going to hit that mark. You're not going to hit that goal that you're setting. And that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with missing the mark. You just keep shooting for it and reaching for it and grasping for it, right? But we have to learn that there's going to be different obstacles, different occurrences, different things that are going to come up that's going to slow us down on this road to self-mastery in order to be a better person, to be a better individual. There's going to be certain things that are going to block that or try to block that or are going to come in the way of that. But we can get over those things as I go down this road to become the master of myself, right? And that's going to help me to learn from my mistakes. That's going to help me learn and grow from whatever I need. But I have to know that there's a lesson there. I have to know that there's something for me to learn from that mistake. If it didn't go as I planned, what am I taking from it? What am I gaining from it? What is going to help me to get to the next level, right? And ideally, you're not going to repeat the same mistakes. Ideally, you're not going to repeat the same mistakes. If I learn from that one mistake, then I'm not going to repeat that mistake. I should have learned everything I needed to learn from that one mistake in order to get past it. Or if it comes back up, I know how to deal with it. I know how to deal with it. I know how to go accordingly to what happened in the past, so that way I don't make that same mistake twice, right? If I make that same mistake twice, 3 times, 4 times, I have not learned anything. I have not paid attention to what I was doing. And unfortunately, it popped back up, right? Unfortunately, it can affect me a certain way in this life, right? Life is challenging enough without making it harder for ourselves over and over and over again, right? So let us learn the lessons or the mistakes in this life in order to be as successful as we desire to be, right? you will only have far fewer mistakes in life if we paid attention to the previous mistakes, right? The previous lessons, right? So on this journey of self-mastery and understanding meditation, understanding what are your triggers, what habits are you going to change, learn from your mistakes. You got to leverage your mistakes and make the most of them, right? In self-mastery, you got to leverage them, use them as fuel, use them as fire, use them as extra burning tools in order to push you towards your passion, towards your purpose in this life, right? Use it. Use that pain to go forward. Use that pain to grow. Don't let it hold you back. Use that pain, that hurt, to realize who you are as an individual. And you can take that pain and you can pass it and you can learn from it and help somebody else grow. Because now you're understanding self. And that is a part of being successful, right? So we have to learn from our mistakes and use them and for the best that we can, right? We have to find a better way in this life. We have to find a better way, right? We have to find a better way to get through everything that we set out to get through, right? Everything that's on our list, everything that's on our change of habits, everything that's on our positive upside, we have to find a better way. And learning and growing and developing our newness, right? We have to find these things. We have to put our plans into action, right? I can't just say that I want to change. I can't just say that, oh, these are my goals. I can't just say that this is what I want to do. I can't just speak. I have to put these words into action. I have to move upon them, right? I can't say that I want anything in life if I don't push towards that action, right? I can't say that I want this excessive knowledge if I don't read any information to have the knowledge-based growth mentally, right? I have to put my plans into action, right? And I have to create a habit of this process, right? I have to create a habit of this process. I have to do it over and over and over till it becomes an unconscious thought or thinking, right? I just do it because now it's a habit. It's something that I formed, but I found a better way, right? I put my plans into actions and now I created this habit process. Now I just do it because it's a part of me. It's a part of who I am. It's a part of my self-mastery of understanding myself, right? This is why I do these things, right? Avoid the tendency to keep repeating your mistakes. Use them to adjust your approach and results, right? You're going to make mistakes. Just ensure that you make the most of them. In time, you'll learn that failures and mistakes are actually helpful, right? They're actually helpful. They're helpful in your growth, right? If you go out in a gardener and he goes out and he plants and he retoils the soil, right? Sometimes he may not get what he desired from that first batch. But if he keeps toiling over and over and over again, eventually the garden will blossom like he thought it should blossom. But he has to learn from, what did I do that didn't help it grow this first time? What did I do that didn't help it grow this second time? I know what I missed. Now I put that into it and now it grows. And now I have the garden that I desire. And that's part of life. We have to put into it. And sometimes it's not going to grow. It's not going to develop. It's not going to build. It's not going to be there like we thought it should be. But we keep doing this. And over time, from learning from those mistakes, learning from those old habits that I'm trying to change, eventually I'll be the success because I know what formula to put into practice now in order for me to grow individually for my self-mastery of my mental mind state, right? So you want to put all these things into play in your life, and this will help you as an individual for your self-mastery, right? This is the Conversation Kings. I'm your host, Dominic Emerson, here on LA Talk Radio. And as always, like, follow, and subscribe, right? And self-mastery is definitely something that we all can use, all can have in our life in order for us to continue to move forward, right? Continue to be the best people that we can be individually and collectively, right? And one of my last points that I want to give you is to maintain a vision of your future, right? Maintain that vision. If you have that vision is plain, your focus is plain, your habits have changed, you've learned from your mistakes, you understand self-mastery as an individual, right? You understand the meditation, the peace, the quiet time, and enhancing yourself, taking in all this information and this knowledge. You have to have a vision moving forward, right? How do you want your life to be? How do you see your life if you're taking all this information in? Do you see your life as a success or do you see your life as a failure? If you don't know, how can you get there? How do you expect to get there? If you don't know, if you don't have a vision, then how do you expect to get to the end of the road that you're trying to travel down, right? Goals serve the purpose of us moving our life from where it is to where we want it to be. That's what goals do. That's what vision does, right? It helps serve a purpose from where we are to where we want to be, or where we're going, or where we desire to be, right? And that's a part of it. We have to maintain a vision for our future in order to be better individually, right? Keep your future desires clearly in your mind, right? Clearly in your mind. You're taking in all this knowledge, all this information, all of these things to enhance who you are. But you have to have it clearly in your mind, right? If I'm thinking a certain way, then that's the way I am going to be. If that's the way my vision is for my future, then that's the way I'm going to be. That's who I'm going to become, right? At least once each day, pull out your goals and review them, right? At least once a day. Say, okay, these are my goals. These are what I set out. Okay, I've accomplished this. I've gone through this. I've done this one. I can move on to the next one. But every day I'm reviewing my goals. Did I get better in this area? Did I progress in this area, right? Visualize the achievement of each goal. Notice the details. What do you see? Who else is there? How do you feel? These are questions that you have to ask and have to answer for yourself as an individual on this road to self-mastery, right? Whenever you feel like giving up, review your goals again and again. Whenever I feel like, oh, I'm beat, I'm torn, this is it, it's over, I have no more left to give, right? I have to review them and keep going. We give up on our goals when the short-term discomfort becomes too great. This is the result of having a short-term focus, right? I have to have a long-term focus in order for me to continue to move forward in life, right? I have to see that in the long term, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to achieve what I'm looking forward to achieve, but it has to be long-term. And I have to look past the short-term goals, right? In order for me to progress in this life, right? And this habit will keep your goals fresh in your mind. Your motivation will stay higher, and you'll be less likely to quit or to procrastinate, right? Procrastinate is one of the most deadliest things we can ever do as an individual, right? Procrastination hurts us all. And I'm speaking from my standpoint because I procrastinated on a lot of things in life, and it has actually stopped me or prevented me from moving forward in life, thinking I can do it later. I can do it this day. I can do it that day. And for some strange reason, it does not work out the way I thought it should work out, right? So maintain your awareness of the future you desire, right? You'll find it easier to maintain your purpose and direction if you keep your future desire clearly in your mind, and you'll be successful, right? And like I say, as always, it's never personal. It's always business. You can be the success that you are desiring to be. It's just how are you going about it in your life, right? And this is a part of self-mastery. Master your individual success. This is the Conversation Kingz. I'm your host, Dominic Emerson, here on LA Talk Radio. And I want you to be the best that you can be. Be the master of yourself that you can be. Master your self mentality, right? And this will help you grow and enhance your life. Take in all the knowledge that you can take in, and it'll help you with your focus and your new change of habits, right? And like always, like, follow, subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and just know that you are the greatest individual that is created, but you have to be the master of yourself in order to move forward. This is the Conversation Kingz. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.
You're listening to Conversation Kingz with Dominic Emerson, only on LA Talk Radio.